Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
The articulation of strategy within organizations represents a perennial challenge, one addressed with notable clarity and enduring influence by Henry Mintzberg in his conceptualization of the 5 Ps of strategy. This framework, though formally codified later, possesses roots extending deep into the nascent field of strategic management, circa 1958, drawing upon observations of real-world organizational behavior, managerial decision-making processes, and the inherent complexities of navigating competitive landscapes. It is inaccurate to suggest Mintzberg's work emerged in a vacuum. Rather, it synthesized existing, yet often fragmented, perspectives on strategy formulation. One crucial antecedent is found in the writings of Peter Drucker, whose emphasis on management by objectives provided a foundational understanding of goal setting as a strategic imperative. Similarly, Alfred Chandler's seminal work, Strategy and Structure, highlighted the crucial interrelationship between an organization's strategic choices and its structural design, providing an empirical basis for understanding how strategy implementation manifests. Further, Edith Penrose's theory of the growth of the firm offers a resource-based view that implicitly challenges purely market-driven strategies, a perspective that resonates with certain aspects of Mintzberg's later work. Examining Mintzberg's 5 Ps individually reveals the subtlety and comprehensiveness of his approach. Strategy, as plan, represents the most traditional understanding, a consciously intended course of action, a deliberate pathway mapped out in advance. This resonates powerfully with the rational planning models prevalent in mid-20th century management theory, models that emphasize forecasting, analysis, and the systematic allocation of resources. However, Mintzberg's genius lies in his recognition that strategy is not solely a predetermined blueprint. Strategy as ploy introduces the element of competitive maneuver, a specific tactic designed to outwit or dissuade rivals. This acknowledges the dynamic and often adversarial nature of market competition, where signaling, bluffing, and strategic deception become legitimate tools. One can see this play out, for instance, in early attempts at price wars and product differentiation during the post-war economic boom. Strategy, as pattern, identifies consistency in behavior, regardless of whether that consistency was consciously planned or emerged organically. This is perhaps the most insightful of the PS, as it acknowledges that organizations develop strategies through their actions, even if management cannot articulate a formal plan. Consider the early development of Honda's strategy in the American motorcycle market. Initially focused on small displacement machines, its dominant position arose less from a preordained master plan than from its consistent responsiveness to evolving market demands. The 4th P, strategy as position, represents the location of the organization within its environment. This incorporates both external factors, such as market segments and competitive dynamics, and internal considerations, such as capabilities and resources. Orders work on competitive forces is a clear descendant of this position-oriented perspective. An organization's chosen position dictates how it relates to its external stakeholders and how it seeks to create and capture value. This is evident in the differentiation strategies adopted by luxury goods producers, who intentionally position themselves in exclusive market segments, commanding premium prices. Finally, strategy as perspective captures the essence of the organization's worldview, its ingrained values, beliefs, and culture. This encompasses the shared understandings that shape how the organization interprets its environment and makes decisions. Perspectives are often deeply ingrained and difficult to change, representing a potent force in shaping strategic direction. The distinctive cultures of technology companies in Silicon Valley versus those in traditional manufacturing industries illustrate how perspective profoundly influences strategic choices. The immediate impact of Mintzberg's 5 Ps was to broaden and enrich the understanding of strategy beyond simplistic notions of planning. It provided a more nuanced framework for analyzing and interpreting organizational behavior, allowing managers and researchers to see strategy in multiple dimensions. Specifically, it challenged the prevailing emphasis on purely rational, top-down strategic planning, acknowledging the importance of emergent strategies driven by experimentation, adaptation, and learning. This perspective gained traction as scholars began to question the effectiveness of rigid, long-range planning in environments characterized by rapid change and uncertainty. The limitations of purely prescriptive approaches to strategy were becoming increasingly apparent, particularly amid the turbulent economic conditions of the 1970s. The subsequent use and evolution of the 5 Ps has been extensive. It has been incorporated into countless management textbooks, academic articles, and practitioner guides. It serves as a valuable heuristic for diagnosing strategic issues, facilitating strategic conversations, and developing a more holistic understanding of an organization's strategic posture. Furthermore, the 5PS has served as a foundation for extending Mintzberg's work, including his work on strategy formation in general, strategy safari, and his advocacy for a more balanced approach to managing organizations. Researchers have used the framework to analyze strategic decision-making in a wide range of contexts, from small entrepreneurial ventures to large multinational corporations. The framework's flexibility allows for application across diverse industries and organizational settings. For instance, strategic planning in non-profit organizations can be viewed through the lens of the 5PS, considering their unique perspectives, positions, and patterns of resource allocation. However, the 5PS framework has also faced critiques and revisions. Some argue that it is overly descriptive and lacks prescriptive guidance. It provides a useful way to categorize different aspects of strategy, but offers limited insight into how to actually formulate a winning strategy. Others suggest that the 5PS are not mutually exclusive and that there is significant overlap between them. For instance, a plan can also be a ploy, and a position can be shaped by an organization's perspective. Moreover, the relative importance of each P may vary depending on the specific context. In rapidly changing environments, the pattern and ploy aspects of strategy may be more critical than the plan. Subsequent revisions of Mintzberg's work acknowledge these limitations, emphasizing the importance of strategic thinking over rigid planning processes. The contemporary reception of Mintzberg's 5PS acknowledges its enduring value as a foundational framework for understanding strategy. While more sophisticated models and approaches have emerged, the 5PS remain a widely used and influential tool, particularly for introductory management courses and executive education programs. The enduring appeal of the framework lies in its simplicity, accessibility, and ability to capture the multifaceted nature of strategy. It serves as a valuable reminder that strategy is not simply about developing a plan but also about adapting to changing circumstances, outmaneuvering competitors, and shaping the organization's identity. The irony, of course, that a framework intended to dismantle rigid planning has itself become a standard component of management curricula, a testament to its inherent usefulness even as the world around it continues to. The direct influence of Mintzberg's 5PS can be seen in the work of numerous scholars and practitioners. For example, Rita Gunther McGrath's work on transient advantage draws heavily on the ploy and pattern elements, emphasizing the importance of continuous experimentation and adaptation in today's dynamic business environment. Similarly, W. Chan Kim and Renee Moore-Barkley's Blue Ocean strategy, which advocates for creating uncontested market spaces, is directly related to the position aspect of Mintzberg's framework. It offers a prescriptive approach to defining a unique position that avoids direct competition. Furthermore, the work of Edgar Schein and others on organizational culture reflects the enduring importance of perspective in shaping strategic choices. Schein's emphasis on the role of shared values and assumptions directly aligns with Mintzberg's recognition that an organization's worldview profoundly influences its strategic direction. Mintzberg himself acknowledges the influence of scholars like Herbert Simon, whose work on bounded rationality challenged the assumption of perfect information and rational decision-making in organizations. This critique of rational planning models paved the way for Mintzberg's broader perspective on strategy. In conclusion, Henry Mintzberg's 5PS of strategy represents a seminal contribution to the field of strategic management. While rooted in the intellectual landscape of the mid-20th century, its enduring relevance lies in its ability to capture the multifaceted nature of strategy. By moving beyond simplistic notions of planning, Mintzberg offered a more nuanced and realistic understanding of how organizations actually formulate strategy. The framework's widespread adoption, subsequent evolution, and continuing influence attest to its profound impact on both academic research and management practice. Although criticisms have been leveled regarding its descriptive nature and potential for overlap, the 5PS remain a valuable tool for analyzing, interpreting, and shaping strategic direction. Its legacy lies not only in its specific tenets but also in its encouragement of a more holistic and critical approach to understanding strategy. The framework serves as a potent reminder that organizations must consider plans, ploys, patterns, positions, and perspectives in order to achieve sustained success in a complex and ever-changing world. The continued dialogue surrounding and refinement of these concepts suggests that, even decades after its initial articulation, the 5PS framework remains a vibrant and essential element of the strategic management conversation, a conversation whose very existence owes a considerable debt to the foundational work undertaken in the years surrounding 1958.
We really appreciate you tuning into this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.